Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the crossroads of modern life, an age defined by rapid technological change, relentless information flow, constant demands on your time, and the nagging uncertainty of what tomorrow may bring. In this landscape, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Career pressures pile up, relationships encounter friction, financial markets fluctuate unpredictably, and global events seem more complex than ever. Yet within this kaleidoscope of challenge, some individuals manage to maintain a remarkable sense of inner calm. They navigate difficulties without being consumed by them, respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and retain a steady moral compass, even as their circumstances shift like shadows at dusk. What secret lies behind such composure? While modern self-help guides may propose dozens of hacks and quick fixes, an enduring source of wisdom stretches back thousands of years: the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Born in the bustling marketplaces of Athens and refined in the corridors of Roman power, Stoicism has guided statesmen, slaves, merchants, generals, and ordinary citizens for centuries. It offers a blueprint for cultivating mental resilience, ethical clarity, and emotional poise. Rather than seeking to control the uncontrollable or demanding that life conform to our whims, Stoicism encourages us to embrace reality, hone our inner character, and find serenity in the knowledge that while we cannot shape every event, we can always shape our response. In the exploration that follows, we delve deeply into 10 profound lessons from Stoicism. Lessons drawn from luminaries like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, as well as countless unnamed individuals who applied these principles to their own lives. Along the way, we will discover that Stoicism remains astonishingly relevant. Whether you are negotiating a tricky contract at work, grappling with a personal loss, or simply yearning for more peace in a time of swirling uncertainties, these principles can offer guidance. By internalizing these teachings, you can develop a mindset that allows you not only to survive hardship, but to thrive in its wake. Lesson 1. Recognize the division of control. At the heart of Stoicism lies the foundational principle that Epictetus called the dichotomy of control. This principle is simple to state, yet challenging to apply. Some things are within our control, and some are not. Within our control are our judgments, our choices, our goals, and the manner in which we interpret events. Beyond our control are phenomena like the weather, the passage of time, the opinions and actions of others, and outcomes influenced by countless variables. To accept this dichotomy is to free ourselves from the futile struggle of trying to command that which lies outside our sphere of influence. In practice, this recognition involves a subtle shift in mindset. Consider a scenario. You prepare meticulously for a job interview, researching the company, honing your portfolio, and practicing potential responses. Despite your best efforts, the company may still choose another candidate, perhaps due to internal reasons unknown to you. The Stoic approach encourages you to measure your success, not by the outcome, landing the job, but by the quality and sincerity of your preparation. Just as an archer is responsible for aiming the bow correctly, but not for controlling the wind, we are responsible for our intentions and actions, not for every twist of fate. Embracing this principle helps dissolve anxiety and frustration. It urges us to do our best where our efforts matter and to relinquish anxiety over external results. This does not mean indifference or passivity. On the contrary, it demands focused engagement with what we can influence. Over time, this approach replaces a sense of helplessness with empowerment, transforming our inner landscape into a place of clarity rather than turmoil. Lesson 2. Embrace reality instead of resisting it. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor tasked with managing crises on multiple fronts, wars at the empire's borders, plague in the cities, and political intrigue in the palace, found solace in the Stoic principle of acceptance. To embrace reality means we do not waste energy railing against how things are. Instead, we learn to observe events as they unfold and then choose our response consciously. This attitude does not invite defeatism. Consider how people respond to setbacks in their personal lives. Suppose an athlete suffers an injury before a major competition. The initial temptation might be to curse fate, lament lost opportunities, or feel resentful. A Stoic approach would, after acknowledging the disappointment, pivot toward understanding. This has happened. How can I now use this situation to grow or find meaning? The athlete might focus on rehabilitation, mental training, or discovering strengths previously overlooked. Instead of resisting reality, clinging to what should have been, they embrace what is. Acceptance liberates us from fruitless emotional battles against what cannot be changed. It is a profound energy saver. Rather than exhausting ourselves in denial, we invest energy in constructive action. This stance aligns us with the flow of existence. We become more adaptable, resilient, and open to new paths forward. In an era where unforeseen shifts are common, learning to meet life on its own terms is a transformative skill. Lesson 3. Live attentively in the present moment. Seneca's writings echo through the ages, reminding us that anxiety often arises from an improper relationship with time. We brood over past mistakes or worry about uncertain futures, all the while neglecting the richness of the present. In a time of smartphones and social media feeds, where our attention is constantly fragmented, the Stoic emphasis on being fully present feels remarkably relevant. Living attentively means engaging with the immediate experience before us. If you are having a conversation with a friend, truly listen without formulating replies in advance. If you are eating a meal, savor its flavors and textures instead of rushing through it. If you are working, immerse yourself in the task at hand without letting distractions scatter your focus. This dedicated presence acts as a balm against stress. By refusing to indulge in regrets about yesterday or fears about tomorrow, we find a calm center amidst the swirl of life. Seneca understood that while we cannot rewrite the past or guarantee the future, we do possess the present moment. Inhabiting it wholeheartedly reclaims the only time truly available to us. Over time, this practice nurtures a stable tranquility. When storms arise, the individual grounded in the present weathers them gracefully, unburdened by guilt over what has passed and apprehension over what has yet to come. Lesson 4. Transform hardship into strength. Epictetus, once a slave, understood hardship intimately. In his teachings, adversity is not seen as a barrier to happiness, but rather as a crucial element in forging resilient character. While it is easy to view suffering as meaningless misfortune, the Stoics challenge us to find its hidden value. Hardship can be a catalyst for growth, a teacher that reveals our inner capacities. Imagine a professional setback. You apply for a promotion only to be overlooked. In the moment, frustration and disappointment may surge, but the Stoic perspective encourages reflection. What can I learn here? Perhaps I can refine my skills, broaden my experience, or gain humility. Through this reframing, defeat ceases to be purely negative. It becomes an impetus to develop perseverance, understanding, and adaptability. Historical figures have illustrated this point time and again. Nelson Mandela emerged from decades in prison, not filled with bitterness, but with a spirit of reconciliation and moral fortitude. While Mandela was not a Stoic philosopher, his journey resonates deeply with Stoic principles. Similarly, countless individuals have faced personal tragedies, loss of loved ones, serious illnesses, financial ruin, and emerged with a renewed sense of purpose and empathy. Hardship, when met with a Stoic mindset, doesn't break us. It reshapes us into more refined versions of ourselves. Lesson 5. Exercise the power of choice in your responses. While life presents countless situations beyond our command, Stoicism reminds us that our responses to these situations always lie within our authority. Epictetus taught that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgments about them that incite emotion. By recognizing that our interpretation determines our experience, we reclaim autonomy over our inner life. For example, consider a harsh criticism from a colleague. The initial reaction might be anger or defensiveness, but before indulging these impulses, a Stoic-trained mind would pause. Is this criticism entirely unfounded, or can I find truth within it that helps me grow? Instead of automatically treating the remark as an affront, we can see it as feedback. This shift releases us from the grip of negative emotions and allows for more constructive interaction. Over time, practicing this cognitive alchemy, transforming potentially distressing events into opportunities for understanding, builds an unshakable inner core. We become resilient, not because life becomes easier, but because our habits of interpretation grow wiser. The Stoic does not deny pain or pretend that everything is pleasant. Rather, they control their perspective, ensuring that their emotional life is not dictated by external chaos. Lesson 6. Temper your desires. Seneca warned against letting unbounded desires run our lives. Modern society often equates success with accumulation of wealth, possessions, recognition. Yet Stoicism contends that chasing endless external satisfactions leaves us perpetually dissatisfied. The more we crave, the more we expose ourselves to disappointment and restlessness. To temper desires is not to reject all material comfort. Stoicism is not asceticism for asceticism's sake. Instead, it encourages a critical examination of what we want and why. Suppose you yearn for a higher salary. Ask yourself, will more money genuinely enrich my life, or am I seeking it because I've been led to believe that my worth depends on it? By probing the roots of our desires, we distinguish between what is necessary and what is superfluous. This approach can lead to greater contentment. If we can find satisfaction in simplicity, a modest home that shelters us, a modest income that meets our needs, relationships that bring genuine connection, then we protect ourselves from the volatile ups and downs of fortune. This fosters a calm independence from external circumstances. Paradoxically, by limiting unnecessary desires, we gain freedom. Our happiness no longer hinges on securing everything we once believed essential. Lesson 7. Root your life in virtue. The Stoics believed that virtue, excellence of character, is the highest good. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance were their cardinal virtues, guiding moral conduct and interior harmony. While modern society sometimes downplays virtue in favor of expediency or superficial success, Stoicism insists that true fulfillment arises from moral integrity. Aligning with virtue means we base decisions on ethical principles rather than fleeting whims. Wisdom helps us see reality clearly, encouraging sound judgment and honest self-assessment. Courage empowers us to face fears, whether they stem from social pressure or life-threatening dangers, to act rightly, even when it's difficult. Justice ensures we treat others fairly, acknowledge their dignity, and contribute to the well-being of our communities. Temperance keeps our impulses in check, guiding us toward moderation instead of excess. An individual committed to virtue navigates life with an unshakable internal compass. Even if circumstances are dire, if wealth evaporates, status plummets, or power slips away, they retain their moral anchor. This internal stability counters the instability of external conditions. Through virtue, we discover that real prosperity lies in developing a character uncorrupted by fortune's fickle hand. Over the long run, aligning with virtue is not merely a moral obligation. It is the surest route to lasting peace of mind. Lesson 8. Contemplate the impermanence of life. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the transitory nature of all things. From human lifespans to entire civilizations, change is the only constant. By accepting impermanence, we learn not to grasp too tightly at what must eventually slip through our fingers. In daily life, this perspective encourages us to cherish what we have without succumbing to the illusion that it will last forever. Take relationships, for instance. Instead of fearing their eventual end through separation, estrangement, or death, the Stoic cherishes the present bond. This awareness can foster deeper love, gratitude, and respect. Similarly, recognizing that our possessions, health, and youth will not endure can lead us to savor them more fully, while reducing the shock if and when they are lost. Impermanence also builds resilience. When change arrives, as it inevitably does, when a career shift occurs, when health deteriorates, when a long-held dream proves unattainable, we are not blindsided into panic. We understand that life flows like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes torrential, never static. Instead of resisting this flow, we learn to navigate it gracefully. In doing so, we anchor our inner serenity in something more enduring than transient external forms. Lesson 9. Cultivate gratitude as your steady companion. Gratitude, as Seneca emphasized, is the mindful recognition of life's gifts. Modern life conditions us to always look forward to the next purchase, the next promotion, the next novel experience, often neglecting to appreciate what we already possess. Stoicism encourages a disciplined practice of gratitude, which reorients our perspective from scarcity to abundance. Consider a daily habit. At the end of each day, reflect on at least one thing you are grateful for. It might be as simple as a conversation with a friend, the comfort of a warm bed, or a challenge that taught you a valuable lesson. Over time, this practice transforms our baseline emotional state. Instead of focusing on what is missing, we become attuned to blessings large and small. This shift fosters a resilient contentment that does not crumble when life fails to deliver constant thrills. Gratitude complements acceptance and perspective. A grateful mind does not deny problems. It simply refuses to be defined solely by them. With gratitude, we face adversity from a position of strength, reminding ourselves that life's difficulties coexist with life's wonders. This recognition can be a stabilizing force, guiding us through dark times with a compass that points toward hope and resilience. Lesson 10. Commit to lifelong learning and growth. A key Stoic insight is that self-improvement is a continuous journey rather than a final destination. Epictetus likened our moral and intellectual growth to that of an athlete in training. There is no point at which we can declare ourselves finished, perfectly wise, or immune to mistakes. Instead, we engage in a dynamic, ongoing process of refinement. This commitment to lifelong learning guards against stagnation. We do not grow complacent, resting on past achievements. Instead, we welcome feedback, seek out mentors, explore new ideas, and remain open to correcting our errors. In this manner, life's challenges become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Adversity, far from halting our progress, adds depth to our understanding. Modern neuroscience supports this notion. The human brain retains plasticity, meaning it can form new connections and adapt as long as we challenge it. The Stoics understood this intuitively, encouraging us to view life as a school of character. Each triumph and setback is a lesson. By committing to growth, we maintain flexibility, creativity, and resilience. This mindset ensures that our capacity for calm and composure expands over time, enabling us to face increasing complexity with confidence. Drawing the lessons together. These 10 Stoic lessons, while presented individually, form an integrated philosophy of life. Recognizing the division of control frees us from unnecessary strife and anchors our efforts where they count. Embracing reality, living in the present, and transforming hardship into strength ensure we remain steady in the face of change. Exercising the power of choice, tempering desires, and rooting ourselves in virtue create an ethical bedrock that sustains us morally and emotionally. Contemplating impermanence teaches us to appreciate what we have, rather than clinging desperately to what cannot last, while gratitude infuses our daily existence with a sense of richness and contentment. Finally, the pledge to keep learning ensures we never become rigid or disheartened by setbacks, but instead grow stronger from them. Applied consistently, these principles cultivate an enduring inner calm. Stoicism does not promise a life free from struggle or pain. It acknowledges that suffering, uncertainty, and loss are woven into the fabric of existence. Yet it also assures us that we can learn to meet these realities with dignity, courage, and clarity. We can live fully engaged with life's challenges without surrendering to despair. In the modern world, where distractions abound, values are often contested, and long-term stability is elusive. These ancient principles have not lost their potency. On the contrary, they seem more essential than ever. As you move forward, consider how each lesson might apply to your own life. Perhaps you will find value in practicing the dichotomy of control, focusing on what truly lies within your power. Maybe you will discover greater peace by embracing rather than resisting life's changes, cultivating gratitude for everyday blessings, or recognizing the transformative potential of hardship. Each of these adjustments, however subtle, can reorient your perspective, allowing you to face adversity not as a victim, but as an active participant in your own growth. Stoicism offers a vision of human flourishing centered on inner mastery. By honing our moral character, refining our judgments, and nurturing our capacity for resilience, we learn that genuine tranquility is not handed to us by external conditions. It arises from the interplay of reason, virtue, and understanding. The more we embody these lessons, the more we discover that serenity and strength coexist, and that, far from being passive or detached, the Stoic approach is deeply engaged with life, embracing it in its full complexity and beauty. In the end, Stoicism stands as a timeless invitation to cultivate peace, not by altering the world to our liking, but by transforming ourselves from within. It whispers that no matter how turbulent the external currents become, we can chart our own course, guided by wisdom and anchored by moral integrity. In doing so, we reclaim control over the only realm that truly belongs to us, our inner world, and find calm and composure blooming right where we stand.